Wrestling POV's content may not be suitable for some audiences. Your discretion is advised. Wrestling POV's content may not be suitable for some audiences. Your discretion is advised. Wrestling POV's content may not be suitable for some audiences. Your discretion is advised. Wrestling POV's content may not be suitable for some audiences. Your discretion is advised. Wrestling POV's content may not be suitable for some audiences. Your discretion is advised. Wrestling POV's content may not be suitable for some audiences.
Hey wrestling fans, welcome to another edition of WPOV Global. Now right now I'm sounding all energetic, fun, and up, but the truth is I am beaten like a dog. That's right, you're hearing the highly defeated legend teaming up with his good friend, the equally beaten and misused gentleman, Elio Canella.
Yes,
Elio,
I am.
Well, first of all, folks, welcome to WPOV Global. It's the show where we go around the world looking at all the best wrestling that isn't in the WWE banner, with the exception of NXT UK. But we look at some of the best wrestling that you're not going to get on the from the big boys. And I got to tell you, man, what I'm talking about, why are we beaten and defeated? Well, you know what? Me and Elio, not only did we have a super heavy week of wrestling, we had all our regular shows. We had 4 cards of New Japan to cover as we watched the G1. I know I even took a peek at Impact to see, because I said I'd look back now and then to see if it got any better, and it didn't. It was just as terrible as ever.
Oh, no.
Then, last night, Elio,
Yes.
I said to you, hey, let's check out that the AAA Mania, whatever thing it is.
That Triple
the Mexican,
Mania, yep.
And I said, let's check it out. You know, we got it, and you were like, okay. So we went our separate ways. So last night, folks, as I've watched all the countless hours of wrestling that I've already watched, I figured, okay, I'll cap it off with a little bit of this show. I put it on, and I got to tell you, Elio, 10 minutes into the show, I looked over at my wife, and I tapped out. I'm like, good night, honey. I can't do this. It's too much. Wow.
Yeah. I went in with an open mind, and I was like, the first match in, I'm like, okay, I'm done.
Now, you know what? Yes, I get the fact that it's in Mexican, and that's not such a bad deal. I mean, we watch Japanese shows. We watch all kinds of around the world.
Yep.
However, these Spanish guys, these Mexican fellas, they were super energetic, and they did not non-stop talk. There was no help. If you were not speaking Spanish, if you weren't a Mexican, you probably could not get anything out of this show.
I understand Spanish, and I speak Spanish, but if people talk slowly, I understand what they're saying, but these guys were talking like, I don't know, super fast. They were talking faster than the Micro Machine guy.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. So anyway, so I tried to watch. I mean, honestly, I think the first 40 minutes of the broadcast was just people talking. And then, they talk so fast that when the first match came out, 3 guys came out. I have no idea what their name was. Maybe they said their name. They talk so fast, I have no idea.
I had to look their name up online. I had to look up the entire card just to follow along and see who was who. Yeah,
you were saying that. You know what? That's what's really annoying, okay, is they could have at least written the names of the guys on the screen.
Yep.
So people, write them in Spanish and English. You know that the broadcast is going to be watched by English-speaking people too. Wow. So you know what? I got to say, Elio, I gave up. I didn't even look up the results. Trying to watch that first match, I just gave up. I tapped out. I have no idea, folks. I know there were some guys from Impact. There were some big names. There were some AEW guys that showed up there, but
Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, Laredo Kid and Lucha Brothers. Cody Rhodes was there, Killer Cross, Scarlett Bordeaux.
Now, did you end up watching any of this?
I saw the entire card, but I had it playing in the background mostly because I just tapped out. I was completely lost. It was made up of 6-man tag matches, fatal 4-ways, a 1 TLC match, only 1 singles match, and that was the main event with Blue Demon defeating Dr. Wagner Jr. in a hair versus mask match.
Wow, they actually got a doctor from the hospital to come in? That's incredible. And no, anyways. Unbelievable. Yeah. Well, I guess asking you, Elio, I know the answer to this because I said you were beaten. Was this worth watching?
No.
No. I for what little I watch, I've lost those moments in my life that I'll never get back. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe if I hadn't watched a lot of good quality wrestling, and we talked a lot, man. I mean, those New Japan cards are long.
Really good match. Really great matches on there.
Oh, really great matches. But yeah, Triple Mania. You know, we almost discussed putting you in the book, but we're not going to do a book this week. It's been a tame week. Like I said, we've been beaten, man. It's hard for an old man like me and a raving alcoholic sex maniac like the gentleman here. You know, wrestling is our only escape, and when wrestling puts you in the corner and beats the crap out of you continuously, it's a tough week. It's a tough week.
Yeah, it is.
Well, you know what? This week, folks, we threw a poll out there, and it's a poll that I really was interested in, especially people following New Japan right now. I thought would really want to weigh in on this, and it has to do with our good friend Jon Moxley, formerly known as Dean Ambrose in the WWE. Now, I do know that before Dean Ambrose left the WWE, he was a bit painful to kind of watch, like, you know, the way he was being portrayed.
Yep.
And I was just curious, you know, is this what we got? Like, you know, what are we gonna? Is I guess what I'm stumbling on my words here. What I'm trying to say is, we were wondering, you know, we have Jon Moxley. He's appearing everywhere now after leaving the WWE.
Right.
And I know a lot of it's independence that a lot of people probably have not got a chance to see. But there is New Japan, where he has been on a tremendous tear in the G1. And I got to tell you, Elio, his matches, even with the ones he's lost, have been very exciting, fun matches.
Yeah, they have. Before we went on the air, I was watching the Jon Moxley Jay White match.
Now the poll asked, is Jon Moxley a better, cooler wrestler now, or is he just a repackaged Dean Ambrose? How do you feel about that, Elio?
No, I think he's a lot cooler now. You can tell he's more comfortable in the ring as Jon Moxley, because as Dean Ambrose, you know, WWE has a certain way, a certain style of wrestling. You have to follow like this move or this way of wrestling. Where as Jon Moxley in NJPW, he's free to like do like what he wants in the ring when he's in the ring.
Okay, I see that. You know, you're right. And one thing I'd like to point out, remember when we talked probably a couple of months ago about Jon Moxley, and you asked me how I felt about him, and I said I don't like when he does all these stupid kind of swivel moves that look so like, okay, he'd do that
ridiculous clothesline off of the ropes.
Yes. Yeah, fall back in the middle rope, come out. The problem was the way he made it looked so phony and looked so contrived.
Yep.
That I couldn't get into it. And I hated the thing where he'd be like, he did that kind of swivel thing, you know, like somebody would throw him into the curtain or into the ring apron, and he kind of jump and spin around and come back out and attack.
Yeah. Yep.
And it didn't look good. His timing was so off on it all the time. It just looked silly.
Right.
And you don't see that stuff right now.
No.
John Moxley, you're seeing in New Japan.
This one is such a cooler version.
Okay, well, you know what, fans? A lot of you voted, and thank you. We had a lot of votes on this one, and the answer
came 595.
Ooh, that yeah. Now, and that was only, you know, we put this poll up late. This poll was only running for 2 days, so thank you. 600, almost 600 of you voting in 2 days. Now, 72% of you think he's a better, cooler wrestler, and only 28% say just a repackaged Dean Ambrose.
No.
Now, I'm going to look into the comments here. Daniel Fryer says, I think an unpackaged Dean with a shade more aggression. Okay. I'm guessing that's to mean he thinks he's cooler then. Ian Demore says, so far, everything I wanted to see from Dean Ambrose. So, obviously, people, you know, a lot of people are wondering, how is he going to react or act, you know, with his new surroundings. Look at this guy's name. Gustav Henry Reigns the Fourth said he was Moxley before he was Ambrose.
Wow, we have a Jeffrey Knight II, and now we have a fourth.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Alan Gilmore replied to Gustav saying, and Vince said AEW was a blood and guts promotion. I think he forgot about where Dean Ambrose and Jon Moxley used to wrestle at. Good point. And here's somebody who disagreed with him being a cooler. Rob Sturman said, just another WWE retread. Well, I don't think I can agree with you on that, Rob.
No, definitely not.
All right. And our last comment today is from Eric Musculas. And remember, folks, if I say your name wrong, oh well. Maybe pronounce your name out for me. I ain't God. Well, since Moxley came first, I'll go with him better. I'll go with better. Okay. So there's a lot of good comments. And you know what, folks? I love well thought out comments. You know, I like it when people take the time to express themselves and to really tell us, you know, what they think is, you know, what they're looking at. However, we do sometimes get comments that just make you shake your head.
Yeah, you know what?
I mean?
Now, TG, before you go on and read that the comment, you're always talking about how I drink on the show.
Yes, well, you do, but anyway.
I think sometimes our listeners drink a lot more than I do.
Some of them have to. Some of them have to. Now, a guy by the name of Ben Johns recently wrote in on one of our polls as dumbest effing poll. And I thought, wow, Ben Johns, you have really encapsulated what a hick fan Mark is all about. And so I thought, you know what? I think it's only fair that we appeal to a question that, you know what, since he thought that was a dumb poll, let's appeal to a poll for Ben Johns. And it's going to be me and you. Me and you, Elio, we're going to do this right now for you, Ben Johns.
All right.
The question is, will Ben Johns end up most nights with his left hand or his right hand? I'd like to know, Elio, what do you think?
I'm going to go with his left hand.
You're going with his left. All right. Well, you know what? I'm going to say right. Just because John sounds like a kind of, crink to the right kind of guy. Folks, if you want to get in on this action and you want us to post this poll, please write in and feel free to, I don't know, make fun of Ben Johns all you want, but it seems like he does a good enough job making fun of himself.
Hey, good job.
Good job, buddy. And you thought you drank a lot, Elio. Huh. Anyhow.
Something a new contender emerges.
Well, you know what? I was going to, folks, you know it's a rough news week for us. When the only bit of news we have, and surprise, surprise, it's AEW, as that seems like the only news ever these days. But not only is it a heavy, not only is it heavy, not only is it only AEW, but I mean, when the only news we had to report that Elio found involved Marco Stunt, I looked at him and said, we're not even going to talk about it. Moving on. So you know what? No news this week, folks. We're going to put up a poll. We're going to think of one for next week. Hopefully it doesn't involve our friend, Mr. Johns. But hey, enough of you fans write in. We'll make an extra poll for that. I would like to say, though, let's move on to New Japan. This has been this has been so exciting. The G1 tournament. I know, Elio, going in, I know you hadn't seen a G1 tournament before.
I hadn't, no.
And I played it up. I talked it up. Did it deliver? Has it been delivering?
Yes, it has. I've seen a lot of great matches, a lot of great wrestling in the past 14 days of this tournament.
Well, you know what, folks? It's up. That's right. We're up to day 14. We're going to talk about days 12, 13, and 14 today. Mm-hmm. And then afterwards, we're going to talk a bit about guys who have been eliminated mathematically.
Okay.
All right? So first of all, day 12 saw... And I know this one might have surprised you because I know you had a lot of high hopes for Shingo, but Jeff Cobb, friend of the show, defeated Shingo in probably one of the most surprising matches. Toru Yano defeating Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley was undefeated going in against Toru Yano.
By countout. Wow.
Yeah, like Yano did every little ridiculous trick in the book to get that victory, and Moxley fell for it.
No, before we went on the air, you were explaining to me like the thought process behind Toru Yano's victory over Moxley. Because when I saw this, at first I thought that it was kind of like a weak way to pick up a victory, but then after you explained it to me off air, it made more sense.
Okay, well, folks, this is, if we were playing Dungeons & Dragons right now, this is called metagaming, where we remove ourselves from the game and we talk about the mechanics of, and that's what we're going to do right now for a second here. We're going to step back and pull out of the fantasy of wrestling and look at what booking is about.
Uh-oh.
And Elio made a good point. He said, how weird is it like a trickster, the guy who's not going to win anything really, Toru Yano, is the guy who breaks the undefeated streak of Moxley. And while Moxley's looking like this monster, how could he lose, all of his great victories and he loses to Yano? And I said, well, you have to think of it this way. The chances of Jon Moxley winning this tournament are pretty slim.
Mm-hmm.
He has a big contract with AEW. New Japan has him for dates, but they know they can't have him full time. Okay? So they put him in here. They've made him a monster. I mean, they've really given him the room to work. He's rose to the occasion. He's looked awesome. Now, the only way to get him out of the tournament and not let him win it is he's going to have to lose a couple matches. And how this match does not, the loss doesn't make Moxley look weak. You don't walk out of there, be honest, Elio, when he lost that count out, right? All the crap that happened, did you stop and went, oh, I guess Moxley isn't as tough as I thought he is? Or did you think, wow, that Yano pulled a quick one on him?
No, actually, that's what I thought. That Yano, he pulled a quick one because I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting that.
Right. So what you got is a really cool surprise moment in the tournament, and you got Jon Moxley eating a loss without looking weak. Mm-hmm. That's the key part here. They didn't make him look weak here.
Okay.
So that is probably my take on why that happened. Okay. From a booking perspective. Okay. But now let's put back on our wrestling pants and get back into the tournament. Okay. Also in this round, Naito defeats Juice Robinson in interesting match. Juice Robinson's the kind of guy sometimes I like, sometimes I don't.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Next match, Jay White defeating someone I never can stand, being Tai Chi. And
he better defeat Tai Chi, damn it.
And here's another cool, I guess, progression storyline kind of win. Hiroyuki Goto defeating Tomohiro Ishii. These are two members of the same, they're good friends, they tag quite a bit.
Yep.
They're in the same faction. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times they've met. Ishii has always gotten the one step up on Goto.
Okay.
But Goto came out with a whole different kind of attack this time, and it was good. I liked it. Both guys came out looking super strong and looking both good, and the points going to Goto.
Okay.
Now, for day 12 of the matches, I think take a look at the Goto versus Ishii match, but also take that extra couple minutes and watch Yano versus Moxley for some fun.
Yeah, it was a fun match.
Day 13 in Block A.
Okay.
Bad Luck Fale, in a big surprising here, defeats Kenta. Kenta, who up until last week was looking like one of the top contenders. Now he's eaten 2 major losses in a row.
This was a surprise when I saw this, when I was watching it this morning.
Next up, Zack Sabre Jr. defeating Lance Archer. This was a pretty good match because Archer, once again, did not look weak in this match. Evil defeating Ospreay.
Yep.
Really good match. Actually, a really tremendous match. If I didn't like the main event so much, I would have picked this match as the match to watch. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to pick this match. Evil defeating Ospreay is the one match I think you should watch the most out of this night. And believe me, the next couple matches were really good. Ibushi defeating Tanahashi, really good. This is sort of a rematch of a match they had last year in the G1 where Tanahashi defeated Ibushi. So I don't know if you noticed at the end of the match how Ibushi was very gushing and very respectful to Tanahashi, showing his gratitude and respect.
Yep.
Very classy.
Okay.
And in the main event that night, Sonata defeating Okada. There's a bit of a surprise. Okada he also going in undefeated, eats a loss here. So this kind of stirs the pot a little, hopefully, going forward. Day 14, B block, we saw Tomohiro Ishii defeat Yano. Now, this match was, once again, we're going to jump into metagaming booking here, okay?
Okay.
I like what they did with this match. Did you notice in this match, they even had a chop battle between them where Yano won?
Yeah. I saw that.
What they try and do here with Yano is, yes, he spends most of his matches as a trickster doing ridiculous, over-the-top things, but they like to remind you every now and then that this guy is actually a tough badass. He can, if he wanted to straight up wrestle, he can go toe-to-toe with Ishii. He can go toe-to-toe with a lot of these wrestlers. He just tends to be the crazy, goofy guy that he wants to be. All right. Next match, this one really surprised me. Tai Chi defeating Juice Robinson.
Yeah, I was like, what? How?
I don't know. You know what, though? I've got to say, Tai Chi, as much as I can't stand him most times, this tournament has been, he looks a little better than usual. I'm not going to say he looks good, but he doesn't look so crappy as he usually does. Let's keep it at that for now. Then we had Hiroyuki Goto defeating Jeff Cobb in a very good, hard-hitting battle of suplexes and whatnot. It was pretty good. I had my hopes on Cobb, but Goto taking the win looking strong.
Yeah, when he hit that Yushika Roshi or whatever it's called on Cobb. Yeah.
And then, this is a very key match, okay? And once again, we're going to explain booking again with this. This one has two things going on with it. Jay White defeats Jon Moxley. Now, you know what? I was going to save it till after this and talk about it, but let's face it. In the beginning, when me and you talked about the wrestlers that we thought were going to win this, we even picked Jon Moxley. Perhaps we've picked him over the Wild, but I think putting my metagaming booking on here, I think Jay White is going to win. Just for the simple fact, he dropped a whole bunch of matches in the beginning. He got to the point where the only way that he could make the finals is if he wins every single match from now on. He's won 2 in a row since he declared that he will win the rest of the tournament.
Yeah. Well, he said he's going to win his, I think, 6 or whatever it was.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Now, as a booker, this match is perfect because first we have White claiming, and even if White doesn't win the tournament, maybe we have him win the next 5 and then he loses and is out. But how much, now we've created this buzz like, whoa, White's really going for it, you know? And on the same time, tonight we have him defeat Moxley. Moxley, who is the monster, lost to Yano, put him down. Now this match will put him down a tiny bit more. It doesn't make him look weak because White won this match with a lot of help from a lot of Bullet Club shenanigans. It serves 2 masters, and I think it's some brilliant booking right here.
I have a question.
Yes.
What's the deal with Rocky Romero? Because at the end, like Jay White was taunting him with the Bullet Club sign.
Oh well, that's one of the ongoing stories. That's Rocky Romero for the last year or so has been filling in quite regularly on bigger events. He belongs to Okada's faction.
Oh, to Chaos. Okay.
To Chaos. Okay. So because the whole deal was here. Remember last year, White had joined Chaos.
Yep.
And then he turned on them. No one's ever turned on Chaos.
Oh, okay.
So Rocky feels very, like his teammates, like you spit in his face. So he'll be perpetually upset at White. And White, who's like the biggest douchebag around, likes to rub into Rocky's face how he's no longer one of them. So that's what that whole background thing going on is.
You ever hear Kevin Kelly takes it so personally when Gato sticks his nose in White's business, and that helps him with getting the upper hand. Yeah.
I like Kevin Kelly.
He takes it so personally.
I love Kevin Kelly. I gotta say that. In the main event, and we could probably explain the story of this one a little bit too, if maybe you didn't know it either. Naito defeats Shingo. Now, this is an important, the story-wise, that a lot of people might not have gotten out of it, who don't follow enough Japanese wrestling. Maybe you just started following the tournament. Maybe you don't know enough about these guys. First of all, Naito and Shingo are both in Los Ignobles de Japón. They're in the same faction together.
Yep.
Naito is the leader. Shingo is the new start. Now, the story behind this a lot is back in the day, both Naito and Shingo were trained by the same trainer.
Okay.
And that was Animal Hamaguchi. And a lot of the times, Shingo kind of came out, you have like rivalries within your training faction as you're training. There's, some guy who maybe does a little better than you, gets a little more praise than you.
Yep.
Shingo tended to be the one who got a lot more praise and a lot more admiration from the trainers than Naito.
Okay.
And so the story here kind of was that they still had this sort of friendly rivalry, even though they're partners and in LIJ, and even though they're stable mates, that there was still this undercurrent of Naito desperately wanted to win because Shingo always came out on top when they were young trainees. So interesting story for people who follow very closely. If you're not following very closely, and this is new to you, it was still a really good match. Naito took a shit kicking here. I mean, Shingo beat the crap out of him, but Naito still takes the win and shows why he probably is the toughest guy in LIJ.
Yep.
Now, these were some very key matches. These matches in the mid thing here have started to turn some of the wheels of where this tournament's going. Up until now, Kenta and Moxley looked threatening to be the guys in each block to take this thing. Now, each guy has lost 2 key matches, and they're no longer at the top of their divisions. Sonata who came off kind of quiet and has been creeping his way. All of a sudden, he's defeating Okada. He's defeating Ibushi. He's defeating some big name guys in his block. And maybe he's a quiet guy to watch on the outside. Jay White making the declaration that he was going to win the last 6 matches and make it to the finals.
Yeah, I mean, last week Jay White was all the way at the bottom, and now he's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 names from the top.
Yeah, things can change in a round robin very easily. Of course, there are guys who've already been, kicked, like have not made the cut, like Fale. Zack Sabre Jr., which was really surprising, is already mathematically out, and so is Lance Archer.
Yep.
And in the B side, I believe
Jeff Cobb, Taichi, and Shingo.
Taichi, and Shingo. Yeah, and wow, hey, remember going in after Shingo's strong performance in the Super Junior? Now he's already out.
So there's more names in Block B are eligible to win than Block A. There's only 3 names in Block A that can win.
Right, but just remember, only one guy wins in Block A and one guy wins in Block B. So
right.
You know what? As the list gets smaller, there's still guys there that are fighting. You get guys like Zack Sabre Jr., who basically has declared that because he got eliminated, he's going to screw over everybody and try and not let anyone else win.
Oh, okay. So we're not gonna have according to him, we're not gonna have a winner this year.
Well, no, there'll be a winner, but he's going to try and screw over everybody he doesn't like.
Oh, okay.
So, shoot for the stars, Zach. Keep it real. Be a gentleman.
But it seems like he doesn't like anyone.
Yeah, remember he's. Well, I guess the only guy who was really in his faction was Archer, who he just defeated.
Oh.
Yeah, there's nobody else in Suzuki Gun made it into the tournament. So, Tai Chi, I guess. Well, no, Tai Chi's in there, but he's on the other block.
If Suzuki were in it, I would have picked him to possibly win.
I know, and you know what? That's an interesting story this year with Suzuki not making it in. I don't know if we didn't really talk about this, I don't think, but they showed some stuff before the G1 started when the names were announced, and Suzuki went on a rampage for 2 or 3 wrestling nights, pissed that he was not included in this lineup, and took it out on everybody.
See, why would you want to make Suzuki angrier than he already is? He's already an angry man.
He's a walking rage. It's the best way to put it. So you know what? I'm glad Elio, I am so happy that you're along the ride with me for this, because I tell you, I've been watching this is my 4th G1 now. Mm-hmm. It started originally me watching these shows live in mostly Japanese at 4 a.m. and still going to work the next day.
Wow. How do you do it?
I don't know. I don't think I can do it anymore. Now they're mostly in English. They're all been in English so far. Every night he's had an English translation. Yep. We get a hookup. We got a hookup, satellite hookup, where we don't have to watch it live. We can watch the delay of it, and we don't have to be up so late at night. And I have someone to discuss it with, because I can't tell you how many times I'd see a tremendously great match, and then I don't have anyone to talk about it, because all my wrestling friends weren't New Japan fans. But now it's awesome to talk to you and get your perspective of what's going on.
Yeah, I like this. This is cool.
Well, fans, you know what? We're going to stop kissing New Japan's ass right now and take a quick break. When we get back, we'll probably kiss the asses of a bunch of other companies. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to get a drink. We already know Elio's drinking like a fish. So you guys, you do what you want. You be you, okay, man? Just be the best you can be. We'll be back in a few minutes.
All right.
Hello, this is Miguel Cole from the Wrestling POV podcast. Wrestling POV and Wrestling POV Global is affiliated with the Collar and Elbow brand. Go to collarandelbowbrand.com and save yourself 10% by using promo code WPOV. Collar and Elbow has t-shirts, hoodies, sunglasses, and more. And the best part, you're helping out your local indie wrestlers, and you're helping out the best wrestling podcast of all, Wrestling POV and Wrestling POV Global. You don't want to miss out, so save yourself 10% by using promo code WPOV. Oh my goodness!
What's up? This is Jeff Cobb. You're listening to WPOV Global.
Hey fans, we're back. Elio,
Yes,
are you
sir.
still conscious? Are you still conscious? You didn't drink like a Mickey while I was taking that quick break, did you?
I'm still conscious.
You're still conscious. That's what I like to hear, because now we're going into our segment of the show where we go over the top 3 regular TV shows that we watch. That's
All
usually
right.
WWE NXT UK.
And
That is MLW. And this week, I don't know if they listen to our bitching or not, but ROH has changed their format.
And you know what? This might completely upset the entire race.
It might, because I think one of the problems we were talking about with, things looking stale and them not making themselves really a TV show, I think this really makes a difference. So anyways, let's start off with WWE NXT UK. Elio, send us away, brother, and we'll talk about it.
Okay, so this week NXT UK was back inside the arena. They came to us from Plymouth, England, and Johnny Saint and Sid Scala are out to announce Walter's next challenger, and out comes Tyler Bates' music plays, and Bates attacks Walter from behind as Imperium stands guard at the top of the ramp, waiting for Tyler Bates.
Yeah, so folks, he jumped in a bit. So what it did happen is when they were going to come out and talk about the contender, Walter came out with Imperium.
Yep.
And basically kind of pushed the guys around and said, hey, I've defeated everybody. There's no one around.
Yeah.
Who you got for me? Then they said Tyler Bates, and then his music came on. So all of Imperium got out of the ring. And if you've ever watched wrestling, you knew where this was going. Because they all got off the ring, ran up the apron, and all stared. Everybody else stared at the apron. So, of course, Tyler Bates came in from behind and attacked him a la Stone Cold back in the day of that one, what's that stupid thing called? Royal Rumble. Where he jumped everybody. Right. Yeah. So, the one biggest takeaway I had in this whole interchange?
Mm-hmm. What's that?
How in the heck did Tyler Bates fight with flip-flops on? Did you notice that? He was wearing flip-flops? I thought, wow, how did he not fall out of those? Okay.
he did get a couple of shots in on Walter.
Yeah, but I just laughed when they broke it up and they showed a full cut, and you saw he was wearing like these kind of slip-on Adidas kind of sandals, and I was just like, what the hell? How did he not fall out of those?
Wow.
I could barely walk in those things without falling out.
Okay, here we have our opening match. We have TJ's favorite team, Gallus.
I'm sure you are mistaken. Is that what the drunk says? Oh, anyways, go on.
So Gallus defeating Pretty Deadly, or Dolph Ziggler's younger brothers.
Oh my god, do these guys ever look ridiculous?
You know what? I don't even know their names. I just wrote that team name.
I got their names in front of me. I'm not even going to give it out. I mean, they look like, seriously, like if you hired male strippers. They seriously look like 20-year-old male strippers. It was... I can't take these guys seriously.
And then we had Jordan Devlin going to Scala demanding a rematch against Walter, but Scala puts him in the main event of tonight's show against Alexander Wolf.
Yeah, okay.
Then we have Rhea Ripley defeating Danny Luna, who?
Danny Luna, yes. Okay, my girl Rhea, looking great, looking ferocious as ever. Gotta say, kind of digging Danny Luna a bit. I kind of want to see her a little more. I hope they show her again down the road.
Is she new, or has she been on before? I don't remember.
I have not seen her before.
Okay.
So, you know what?
Well, that's why I said who, because I wasn't sure.
Yeah, no, she's a newer girl, but I liked her look. Which doesn't happen in a lot of WWE NXT UK women's wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
There's only seems like there's like 4 or 5, and then the rest are just like that Shaw chick, or like or what is her name? Nina Samuels? No, isn't
Nina Samuels?
Yeah, Nina Samuels or Jenny, or these interchangeable women who don't even look like wrestlers. You know what I mean? I liked her. I liked Luna's look. So I hope we see more of her. But come on, my girl Rhea took her apart.
Yep. Okay, then now this one, I kind of like this segment. They did a close-up on the Toni Storm Kaylee Ray match that will take place at TakeOver Cardiff. So giving kind of like a history and backstory behind these two.
Now, when you say you liked it, did you like the history and the backstory, or just the presentation of them doing a session of information?
No, like I liked the actual backstory, like how they knew each other before NXT UK.
Interesting. But stupid. Come on, man. This was crap.
At least it makes the match more sense now.
You, sir, must be mistaken.
I'm sure you're mistaken.
You know, if that drunk Tony had a tagline, I'd throw it. Oh, wait, I think you're being churlish.
Are you saying it belongs to the toilet? In the toilet?
Okay. Let me get this straight.
What?
The story here is that Tony Storm and Kaylee Ray were buddies who hung out together, and then they went to Japan, and they were like a brother and like big brother and or big sister and little sister. And then when Tony made it to WWE UK, she was so excited when she heard Kaylee was coming because they were going to be friends. But when she got there, things were different.
Well, you're trying to figure out how this match came about, other than Kaylee Ray just winning a battle royal.
Dude, this is such a weak-ass story. I almost wish she had just won the Battle Royal. Like, I'm sorry. I could not. I like Tony Storm. I'm not so sold on Kaylee Ray anymore. I'm going to have to see more, I guess. But this was just drivelly garbage. I'm sorry. I did not like this story at all. I thought it was stupid. I don't know. This stuff makes sense if you're two lower card wrestlers, you know. But, like, the champion and her number one contender, just weak sauce.
But then maybe it's also, I must have been watching it at like 6 in the morning while I was still hungover.
Oh, let's face it, you're never hungover. You were still drinking. You had to send those girls home, and they made you think of Tony Storm. And the two girls you sent home while you were watching it were... Anyways, go on. Hey, do you ever... I'm just going to throw this really quick out there, but do you know who Peter Dinklage is?
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't Jordan Devlin sort of look like if you took Peter Dinklage and stretched him 2 or 3 feet, he might look like that?
He does.
Or either that, or Jordan Devlin needs to be shrunk down to, what are they, little persons size? Yeah. So I say a lot of bad words, so I'm going to try not to avoid the words that get me in trouble. So
then we had an update on Eddie Dennis, who we haven't heard from in a long time. Apparently he said, like...
Who?
Exactly, and he said it's the fans' fault that he got injured.
Yeah, he's the guy who comes out and is like, "Hey, guys, this is why I'm gone," and everyone's like, "Who are you?" Eddie Dennis, give me a break.
Next week we have Piper Niven and Cy Brookside taking on Ginny and Jazzy Gabbert.
Ginny and Jazzy, it almost sounds like they have the same last name.
And then I literally have this written down in front of me. 2 jackasses collide. Dave Mastiff versus Joe Coffey.
Oh man. Okay.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I can already tell what kind of show we can have next week.
Dave Mastiff. Okay.
So here we go. This is the main event. Alexander Wolf defeats Jordan Devlin.
Oh man, it was like Tyrion versus the Dragon. Okay, I guess maybe you didn't get what I said about Peter Dinklage. Go on.
No, I got it. Game of Thrones.
Yes. I try to be relevant and hip. Is it working, kid? Anyways,
I know Game of Thrones.
I know. I'm just joshing, man.
Okay, so that was our NXT UK for this week. So,
you didn't talk anything about Devlin and Wolf. Wow. Did you like the match?
It was an okay match. It was Devlin got destroyed by Wolf.
I really I think this has done a world of good for Alexander Wolf to be part of Imperium.
We said at the beginning that that Alexander Wolf, we weren't sure how he would fit into this group, but it's turned out to work well for him.
Now, one quick question I want to throw out to you and maybe to the fans out there is: do you ever notice when they have the Imperium thing come out and they have their names?
Yeah. And
they have Wolf first, then Walter, then
Walter,
the other two.
Wolf, Walter, Eichner, and Bartel, or is it the other way around?
It doesn't matter, but I mean, the first two, doesn't it seem weird that, like, Walter should be first, don't you think? I mean, he's the leader.
Wow.
It's not even alphabetical. Going Wolf isn't even alphabetical. So that makes you, I don't know, is that some kind of seed planted for the future?
Because WA comes before WO.
Yeah, I just want to know if any of your fans looked at that.
But then, alphabetically, it would be Eichner, Bartel, Walter, and Wolf.
Yeah, but you wouldn't want to go alphabetically. I mean, you want Walter there. He's your leader. I just find it weird that it isn't Walter and, you know.
That's true, yeah. I hadn't noticed that.
Sorry, so hey, fans, if you noticed that and thought it was kind of odd, or if you think maybe I broke into Elio's liquor cabinet,
No,
us a
it's
line.
option B. He broke into my liquor cabinet because I'm running low again.
Just so you fans know how possible that is, it is a 2-hour flight from Edmonton to Toronto. If I was to drive, I would have to drive at least, 26 hours straight? It's a long time to go to break into a liquor cabinet. I'm not going to say it. But... All right, folks. One of my favorite parts of the week is always MLW. It's time for the MLW Fusion TV report.
All right.
All right.
Actually, I wonder if this is some of the matches that took place at the Never Say Never event.
It was. I was hoping you weren't going to bring that up, but yes, it was.
Okay.
Damn you, Elio! Shut the fuck up. Okay.
Again, that's not me talking. That's the booze.
All right, we open up in New York City, and our announcers are Rick Boccaccini, makes me think of cheese, and Tony Schiavone. Holy, dug out the mothballs. That guy's alive?
Wow.
Sweet. Now, we talked about how he has to do baseball. He's finished doing his baseball for the season. He's back now. So, match number 1, Low Key against Jimmy Uta. We've got Low Key doing this, he's like tearing through everybody. I mean, this match lasted like a minute.
You know what? That straight kick that he delivered to Yuta? Holy crap.
Now, here's one thing that I think is cool. Sometimes when you do this sort of thing with the, the quick victories or the unstoppable machine, sometimes it can be boring.
Okay, yeah.
But Low-Key, have you noticed the fans are just going crazy for Low-Key as a good guy?
Yeah, they're like getting behind Low-Key.
Yeah, they are really getting behind him, and it's been a long time since Low-Key has been the fan.
We had something about a wrestler named Senshi.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking that up. I believe Low-Key used that name in Impact.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. And I believe when you looked up Senshi, who we're going to talk about in this week's episode, didn't he do wrestling for the guys who do all the weird cartoon stories? Do you know what I'm talking about? Out of Chicago, Chikara. Did he come from Chikara?
Oh, okay. I'm not sure. I've never even really seen Chikara.
Oh, okay. It's something. All right, so we go to the very hilarious. I'm just going to say it, okay? I don't know what to think of Tom Lawler. Sometimes I like him. Sometimes I think he's ridiculous. He's doing this interview where he's basically biting on a chain link fence while threatening Contra. Then gets inside and then talks about, I don't know, ripping out their souls and tasting their blood. And it was pretty funny.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Then says he's teaming up with the Von Erichs and that they're going to be in the War Chamber, which is the War Games thing, for the fans who don't know about that. The War Games concept was owned by MLW for a little while. They sold the name War Games back to the WWE in the last little while.
I was actually going to ask you, how did that come about? Like, how did they end up with the War Games? Because I thought that was originally an NWA, WCW thing.
Yeah, I believe Dusty Rhodes had now, I may be 100% wrong, folks, and please write me in and tell me, and I'll read it and tell you guys to F off, and I don't care what you think. But what I understood is, I think Dusty Rhodes, he did some time in MLW, did some matches with them. Somehow they acquired the rights for it.
Oh, okay.
They paid for the rights. Right. Recently, WWE paid them a lot to take the rights back to use the name. However, they can still use the concept. Now they're just calling it the War Chamber or something silly.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. Anyway, so we go back in. We get Contra Unit come out again. Man, Contra Unit, they're getting a little too much Contra Unit for me these days. Okay.
Especially Simon Gotch. Oh, I don't know if you heard about what he did.
What did he do? Was it on the show? You're not talking about on the show, right?
No. Actually, this was I saw this online. He had a few comments for Dave Meltzer that were pretty dark. Well,
that's okay. Dave Meltzer, who cares? I mean, he's got his own show. He does his own thing. I don't even follow Dave Meltzer, so. It's funny you bring up Simon Gotch because I'm going to throw this out here. I just talked about Imperium's little thing where they come out and it has, Wolf and Walter. Have you ever noticed that as many times as Contra comes out, they flash Samuel, they flash Fatu, they never say Gotch. Ever. Even when he's teaming with them.
You know what? Who is the leader of Contra?
It's supposed to be that Shaw guy. Or Samuel, sorry. Joseph Samael.
Oh, I see. All this time I thought it was Simon Gotch was the leader of Contra.
No, it's that they've made it very clear that it's Joseph Samael is the leader.
Oh, okay.
Fatu now holds the belt, which is odd.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Gotch, they never have him in any of the credits. So I always wonder about that. Okay.
So what is his role?
Well, obviously is he just a hitman for the squad? Is he actually a part of the Contra unit? Because I just find that weird. So the Contra unit, I don't know. I love this about MLW. They just throw shit against the wall to see what sticks.
Yep.
And the explanation of Contra comes out and says, we're going to fight you guys in the War Chamber, right? We're going to fight you, Tom Lawler. You're going to bring the Von Erichs, and you're going to have to bring a mystery partner because we're bringing a mystery partner.
Oh, man. Okay.
Yeah, I that just seems like ridiculousness to me, but okay. No, I mean, just the presentation of that, like, you get a partner because you're going to need it because we're bringing a mystery partner. Like,
well, all right
okay.
then.
Yeah. All right. So, okay, I got to touch on this. Sometimes the stories in MLW work really well with Selena De La Renta. Sometimes they make me roll my eyes a little. This whole thing where the Vance Warner chasing her and destroying the group, loved it.
Yeah.
Her dropping her phone and Conan picking it up and now blackmailing her because her phone has incriminating things on it.
Yeah,
it's just stupid.
How many demands did he make? I picked up only one demand that he made.
Yeah, he only made one on this show, but I'm sure there's more to come.
All right.
Now, the demand here was he said that he would release the things on the phone unless he said, look, you booked two friends to fight each other in a loser leave town match. And that, of course, was Sammy Callahan and Vance Warner.
Yeah, the semi half friends.
Yeah. So he demands that she book a match between Jimmy Havoc and Los Angeles Park.
Yep.
Now, right away, that sets off bells in my mind because, as far as I know, looking through the news, Jimmy Havoc looks like he'll probably be working with AEW. So this might be just a good way to write him out of the thing. So I guarantee you, Jimmy Havoc is losing that match because LA Park is not going anywhere. All right. Then I know this is probably the most. You probably saw this and it sobered you up. You were probably so damn happy that you wanted to do backflips and join them because the Spirit Squad came out.
Oh, come on. You didn't get any spirit from the Spirit Squad?
I have no spirit. I have no spirit when it comes to the Spirit Squad. Do you remember when DX dropped crap on them?
I do.
Yeah. So the Spirit Squad come out. They throw out this challenge to anybody to come out, which is funny because they start naming teams. Then they name the Von Erichs. Then the Von Erichs come out.
Actually, I have a question.
Yes.
Is it just me, or did you find it distracting that their Titanfront was playing during that segment?
I was just going to bring that up. That is hilarious. I find it hilarious that their music, it's sort of like back in the day when New Jack would come out and his music would just keep playing. It's bizarre, but every time the Von Erichs wrestle, their music just keeps playing.
It's like I'm watching a music video.
Well, then it gets even weirder because at the end of this match, right, the Von Erichs win. Then Contra comes out and their music continually plays.
Jeez.
So it's like, what's going on here?
Oh, who's the new guy? They had the new guy there too.
They have not said who he is yet, and I do not recognize him. So I'm sure they're going to make up some bullshit story about him and insert him in there. It is MLW.
Okay.
So yes, at the end of this, they attack the Von Erichs. As they're beating down the Von Erichs, Marshall, I think, started making a comeback. An unknown assailant, who apparently is probably the fourth guy now in Contra, spits something like a mist out into Marshall's eyes. He goes down. This is the only thing I didn't like about it. It seemed so... Oh, man, what's the word? It just didn't seem real the way everyone reacted when Marshall went down.
Yeah.
Because Contra, they sort of hung out way too long. They fought a little. They attacked a couple of they attacked a couple of the ringside people, but they didn't attack the EMTs. It just came off as very strange.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, their music's playing the entire time. So one thing I got to say, a lot of times when it comes to Simon Gotch, very good wrestler. But when it comes to these parts, he is very awkward, and he looks awkward in there. He looks so lost, like he didn't know what he was supposed to be doing, and it came across as that. So Pull up your pants, Simon. You got to work on something there. Then we go to Gringo Loco defeating Zen Shi. Now, I think back in the day, the more I think about it, didn't Loki used to call himself Sen Shi with an S? I'm pretty sure it was Senshi, not
Yeah,
Zenshi.
yeah. Wait, or is this one
This guy is Zenshi. He uses a Z. But
oh,
anyways,
okay, because the way you said it sounded like Senshi.
no, it's Zenshi.
Okay.
Okay, now Gringo Loco winning a match. That's just about probably sobered me up. But
Gringo
I liked
Loco.
Zenshi. Zenshi had a lot of cool things where he'd go off the top rope and like push himself and flip. It looked very unique and kind of cool.
Okay.
So I expect big things from him. Surprised he lost to Gringo Loco. So we'll see where that takes us. Then I'm gonna skip some. There was there was some more stuff about Davey Boy Smith and his sister and Hammerstone. There was another. I'm not even talking about the Hammerstone. Did you? Okay, maybe I should for 1 second. I found it pretty funny that MJF was saying that Teddy Hart could not pass the wellness exam, so he wouldn't be allowed to get a rematch for their belts.
Yes, I was looking at that. I have Dynasty promo written here.
Yeah, which makes no sense because he's still the mid-heavyweight champion. So if he failed that, why wouldn't they just strip him of the belt? Anyways, then it was sort of funny. Hammerstone, who looks like a big juice monkey, kind of implying that maybe he might not pass the wellness exam.
Hammerstone's probably still working on his Hogan 9110.
Yeah. It was a throwaway segment for me at the best. So we get to the main event, and I got to tell you, I've heard of Timothy Thatcher. I haven't really seen him wrestle. I've heard a lot about him on one level down in the indies across everywhere.
Okay.
When I saw that he was making his debut against Davey Boy Smith Jr., I was very excited because I know, which a lot of people don't know, is Davey Boy is an incredible grappler. He's also an MMA fighter.
Yeah.
And this match started slow, but it really delivered. I really enjoyed this. It's not the kind of match I think fans are going to want to see a lot of, but it's a good every now and then sort of thing to see that kind of pure technical wrestling aspect. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and it was a good introduction for me to this guy, Timothy Thatcher, because I had only heard of him, but I had never seen him wrestle.
He is definitely old school. He's kind of like Cesaro, like a big, strong, brawling, technical. What a great match! Ended with Davey Boy taking the win. And I'm hoping that is not the last we see of Timothy Thatcher. Now I know he hasn't signed with MLW, but I mentioned a week or two ago that he's kind of hanging out a bit, and he'll be slowly introduced into the company, I think. So let's hope that holds true. So, you know what? We were in such a hurry here. First of all, let's rate this week's show. Elio, what would you give this week's MLW show?
This week. The Contra stuff and the whole Von Erich stuff, I didn't really enjoy at the end, though. Okay. With all that, so I'm going to go with a B- on this one.
Wow. Believe it or not, I shit you not, fans. I am giving it, in my head, I was giving it a B- too. There are the Contra, the Simon Gotch looking totally lost, took a bit out of that angle. I'm still undecided if I like the Von Erichs playing their music or Contra playing their music constantly while they're wrestling. But there was some fun stuff on the show. The Conan stuff was ridiculous, but the Davey Boy Smith Thatcher match was off the hook.
The end was so awkward. Georgia Smith interviewing her brother.
Yeah, it's just bad. I mean, Davey Boy is a good wrestler, but he's not the best actor in the world. Don't throw the guy to the wolves. You know what I'm saying?
No, first before we go on, I don't think we gave NXT a grade this week.
We did not. I
was just waiting for you to get through MLW. I didn't want to.
Yeah. I actually just was going to bring it up too. So cool. I'm going to give this week's NXT UK a C.
See, I didn't give it a C. It wasn't good, but it wasn't bad.
It wasn't horrible, but it was a bit weak.
Next week.
Who knows? Maybe it'll be the best whatever.
Maybe.
Speaking of the best,
Piper Niven and Cyber will save it.
Maybe. Now, let's jump over to ROH. And you know what? A whole different kind of look for ROH this week. Elio, tell us all about the ROH report.
Yeah, this week ROH was different because now usually I have the matches like the results of like all the matches on there. But this week they had a completely different format. So we see highlights of God and Briscoe's feud, and the Briscoes winning the championships back from Guerrillas of Destiny.
It was good. It was a good match.
Yep.
We talked about that one before.
Yep, and of course we had promos with some colorful language between both teams. Actually, more from God.
Okay.
Then we take a look at the Doncaster Rouge feud, and their recent feud is going to lead up to one of the matches on the ROH summer card. It's going to be a no DQ match between them and Toronto, and before that, it's going to be a ladder war between God and the Briscoes.
Okay.
Then we have a proving ground match. I believe it was Tracy Williams defeating Josh Woods, Shane Taylor, and Silas Young.
Yeah. And what did you think?
And it was okay. Tracy Williams and Shane Taylor. Shane Taylor, I'm not a fan of Shane Taylor at all.
No.
So, because Tracy Williams won, he gets...
So, actually, Elio, I don't think, if I remember right, and I know that maybe they weren't clear about this, but wasn't that a defense of the TV title? That Shane Taylor had just won?
Actually, this one, I think it was...
It was on one of the pay-per-views a little while back.
And because now Tracy Williams gets a shot at that championship at Summer Card.
Now here is something really interesting. We both watched this program, and with this new format, it's kind of it was hard to tell where that match was from and what it was all about.
That's the one thing, yeah.
Because proving ground matches are usually people who aren't signed to ROH. Okay. It's like Facade and guys like that trying to get a first look.
Who?
So, anytime we can throw Facade in there and let people know he's not dead, he should be.
Then we took a look at Matt Taven defending the championship against Jay Lethal and Kenny King.
Wow! Hey, what a tremendous. Sorry.
And so
fell asleep.
So that was pretty much ROH for this week with this new format. I kind of like this new format. At least we know like the events that are coming up, and they focus on storylines and where they're going next.
Okay. Well, you know what? I kind of like the format change. We talked about this, fans. We even had a poll here where we were saying every week, ROH was losing so badly that something had to be done. And this is a start. They're making it more.
Maybe they were listening to the show.
Yeah, sure. Them and two others. But two others, I mean, country. We're looking your way, Australia. This had to be done, I think. I think they really had to do something different. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm going to say I enjoyed the format change. That gave it better marks, but the matches this week were not very good. No. And because of that, I'm going to give it a C.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to give it a C, but at least we know like what's coming up on Friday, Summer Card here in Toronto. Yeah, we know 4 matches on that card already.
Yeah, this was a nice change. I don't know how many times Elio said, "Hey, wasn't there an ROH thing or something?" And we were like, "I don't know, We watched the show, but
you'll tell me there was a pay-per-view this weekend. I'm like, there was? Really?
Yeah, so this was a nice change that they're more upfront with it, but then it got confusing when when they had the 4-way match there, we weren't sure where that was or what it was really about. So,
so I don't know if I heard it wrong when they said Proving Ground, or if I heard something, it was a reference to Proving Ground or something.
Well, you know what, folks? At least we know this is, we've given it a C this week. Interesting. I like the attempt. At least they're trying something. Maybe this... Yep. Maybe now we'll just get some better stuff out of ROH for a show anyways.
What's that new backstage interview, Quinn or whatever her name is?
Yeah, I kind of zone out with these people now, man. I mean, Casey Lawton has taken my soul away. I mean...
we already have Georgia Smith. Updater. Are we going to have to put... is that a future country?
She's possibly. This bad acting has really got me thinking, but... So let's take a look at this week's winner. Who wins for this week? Who's the winner? Who scored the highest?
So let's see. We gave ROH a C, NXT UK a B-, and MLW we gave we gave B minus MLW, right?
Right, I think it was B minus, and we gave a C or C minus to NXT UK.
Okay, so the last week we had. Let me pull up. Last week we had.
I'm pretty sure MLW
NXT.
was in the lead.
Yeah, we have NXT with 6, MLW with 11, and ROH with 1.
Well, so it looks like this week we're going to have to give 3 points to MLW.
3 or 2?
Was it 2? Yeah, wait, it's 2.
Yeah, it was 2 for first place, 1 for second, 0 for third.
And I think we have to give 1 to each of ROH and NXT because I believe we both gave them C's.
Okay, so we have 1, 1, and 2. So that puts NXT at 7, MLW at
13?
12, I believe.
13?
13 and 13 and ROH at 2. So we have 7, 13, and 2.
Well,
MLW still in the lead.
Well, that's 2 weeks in a row that ROH managed to pick up some points. So good on them.
That's a good sign.
MLW so far is the one show here that seems to be putting on a consistently fun actual show. You know, it may not have the best wrestling, but at least it has an interesting show. So, folks, I got to say it's been a really good week for wrestling for us. We're not going to have a book this week. Like I said, me and Elio, we got beaten up too much by AAA that I don't think we have. I don't have it in me to open the book this week. But you know what? If I did, I think we'd have put that fella in that I was making fun of in the beginning for the poll. What was his name? I can't even think of his name.
Ben Johns?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, no, that's...
Ben Johns. You know, he almost made the book for just stupidity, but everybody has an off week, and I'm sure you were very concerned about your hand falling asleep that, you know, you probably just really didn't think what you were typing. So, fans, I got to tell you, we enjoy doing what we do. We want to send a special hello to all of our good friends all across North America, Canada, and the U.S., We'd like to say a big hello to people out in Europe. We know that Ireland, England, Scotland, France, Spain, some of these countries have been watching us, Germany, Asian countries, Hong Kong and China, Japan, and you know what? Even a special down under hello to our good friends in Australia. And don't get mad, we'll even say hello to people down in New Zealand. We enjoy each and every one of you. We look forward to seeing you. Now, if you want to watch our show, or I guess you can't watch our show. If you want to watch our show, well, bang your head with a brick and just listen on your headphones and imagine what we look like.
Well, they can always go to YouTube and watch the same picture on the video.
Yeah. Well, if you really want to imagine what the show is like, imagine the legend as a suave, sophisticated man of leisure, and Elio as a drunk, sex-addicted man in his prime. No. You know what, folks? We have a great time here. And you know who else has a really good time? It's a really fun show, is Wrestling POV, our sister show.
Yep.
On the same network that you're listening to us now. They put a show out every Saturday. Check them out now. I believe I've been practicing. I believe I can name where the folks can download us.
All right, let's hear it.
GeoPlanet, Nexus.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
The Oregon Trail. No, wait, that's a game. Okay, I have no freaking clue. Elio, tell them
what are you doing?
I don't know.
Okay, you can find us at iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, iHeartRadio, and YouTube.
All right.
And if you want to drop us a line, you can find us on Facebook at Wrestling POV Podcast, Instagram Wrestling POV1, and Twitter at Wrestling POV.
Right. So you know what? Send us a note. Tell us what you're liking about the show, what you're hating about the show. If you have everything good to say, we'll read it. If you have anything bad to say, we'll rip it up and find you and do horrible things to your dog. I don't know. I'm too beaten to think of good threats right now. So, folks, we've had a wonderful time. I'm your host, yes, the beaten legend this week, and his co-host, the beaten, scraggled up, drunk, sex-addicted gentleman himself. Elio, say goodnight to the good people.
All right, we will talk to you listeners next week.